Welcome to this month's CCI video update highlighting the great work of schools and their supportive community partners who are working together to reach the aims of Lilly Endowment's Comprehensive Counseling Initiative. Today, our guest is Amanda Culhan, who is representing Counselor Connect and the Central Indiana Educational Service Center. Thank you for joining us, Amanda. We're very grateful that you're here.
Thanks for having me, Amy. I'm glad to be here.
No problem. Can you tell us, our listeners, a little bit about your organization, please?
Sure. I am the coordinator for Counselor Connect, which is a statewide community of practice for student service professionals across the state. It first launched in the spring of 2020, so an interesting time to launch a big initiative like this. But just to give you a little bit of background, Counselor Connect falls under the Keep Indiana Learning umbrella, which is Keep Indiana Learning and Counselor Connect are both operated by the Central Indiana Educational Service Center, or CIESC for short. And Counselor Connect, what we do, we provide professional learning, networking, resource development and identification, networking opportunities for counselors and social workers across the state. Most of our offerings have been virtual up to this point, thanks to some grant funds received over the past 2 years. So everything we've provided, fortunately, has been free or low cost. And our professional development is typically recorded, so it's accessible through On Demand or the Keep Indiana Learning YouTube channel, so that for those people who can't join live, they always have that option to participate when they're able. We know that's really become important as everybody started moving toward this new virtual way of living. But we really rely on our practitioners to tell us what their needs are and to create learning and resources in response to those needs.
That is wonderful. So tell me about the participation levels. Do you have a good participation rates in your trainings?
We do. We actually do. We have 4 tactic teams, which I can talk a little bit more about later. But within those tactic teams, we have we address the kind of the main areas of counseling. And for all of those teams, I think we have, over 100 participants who are on those teams total, those 4 teams. But then as far as our professional development goes, we do, for the most part, have pretty good numbers. I think, with student service professionals, it's a little bit easier for them, not easy, but it's a little bit easier for them to be able to step away, during their school day, or to have lunch and to participate in a session or a virtual session or things like that. So we've had pretty good attendance for the most part in what we've offered.
That's awesome. So you know that the aim of the Comprehensive Counseling Initiative was to increase the number of K-12 students in Indiana who are emotionally healthy, realizing academic success, graduating from high school, obtaining post-secondary credentials and certificates. How has Counselor Connect impacted that? How does your work meet with those priorities?
Yeah, so I kind of I mentioned the tactic team. So just to go a little bit further and more in depth into those. So we have a comprehensive school counseling team, post-secondary options, social emotional learning, and then student and family advocacy. And the purpose of those teams is for our members to really offer insight into what is truly needed in these areas, to identify and develop support to assist student service professionals in offering the best possible services to their students and families to address these needs. So I think, we're indirectly working toward those aims and helping to support the great work that our counselors and social workers are delivering in schools.
That's excellent. So do you have any particular stories you can share about schools that have shown some success in these areas?
Well, so this doesn't directly relate to Counselor Connect necessarily, but this does fall under the work of CIESC. I mentioned previously that they received some grant funds in the last couple of years. One of those grants was a gear grant. So with these funds, I assisted with some SEL training that they offered. And that gear grant was received by CEL and CIESC. And through that grant work, all 9 of the educational service centers around the state offered applied educational neuroscience resiliency team training. That was the presenter and the coach for that was Dr. Destels. So I think everybody's familiar with her work. And just the facilitation of those trainings and resources. We offered a mid-year retreat for educators who we knew were struggling themselves. So I would just say that training and the monthly coaching that she provided really assisted those teams, those 30 district teams, in being able to better support the trauma that our students and families are going through right now.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's awesome that we were able to, to work with that many teams. It was great work. It was great to be a part of it. And, Dr. Desautel, I can't, she's wonderful. So it was great.
What kind of feedback did you get from the schools that participated in that?
Not only were they given strategies to use in the classrooms, strategies to use with their staff, but they also had a lot of time especially on our coaching calls, where they could just let go of some of what they were feeling and have open discussion with one another to say, this is happening in our school. This is how we're addressing it. So it was great for them to have that connection and that opportunity to just network with one another and really just, again, feel like they weren't alone in this work and to really just feel supported.
Yeah, there's a lot of value in that. It's not just us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's say we have some schools that were not Lilly grant winners and they are interested in comprehensive counseling. What advice would you give school counselors, school counseling programs, administrators, if they're interested in becoming more comprehensive in their approach?
Well, there are a lot of different things out there, I think, to assist in that. ASCA obviously has some great just resources on their website. So that could be a good starting place, is just to kind of start exploring and learning a little bit about what is comprehensive school counseling. From there, I think that next step would be to really get support from a trainer, honestly. So we put together in this past year, Counselor Connect put together some very high level introductory sessions into comprehensive counseling. So anybody could go and watch those. They're on demand now, just to kind of get a little glimpse into a few of the components of the framework. So that could be a starting place as well. And then from there, I would say just stay current on what's being offered as far as training goes. There are a lot of different opportunities out there. Counselor Connect is looking at offering some training next year. So I would say to subscribe to our monthly newsletter and receive updates and information about what that's going to look like. But even beyond Counselor Connect, there are many different ways where counselors could get support in that area.
Excellent. So what's the best way for a counselor to view your trainings that are on demand now?
I would say, again, to subscribe to the monthly newsletter to get just updates on what is coming up. We offer on our website, we have like an engagement center where they can actually filter and select different topics to get them to where they, to get to show then what those specific learning opportunities are that they're interested in, and they can add them, they can check them and add them to their library. So it's really kind of neat and it's new. So I would say for them to check that out. We do have a Keep Indiana Learning YouTube channel as well, where we've started adding a lot of our on-demand videos there. So that's another place to locate that. But again, just the monthly newsletter, we share what's happening. We're putting together kind of do-it-yourself learning bundles, if you will, for staff to be able to use in their staff meetings. They could use the counselors when they get together, let's say monthly, and have their meetings. They could use these bundles covering different topics. So there are so many resources that are on the Keep Indiana Learning website. So I would just say, encourage people to go and visit the site, sign up for the newsletter, and play around with that engagement center.
That's excellent. So just to clarify for our listeners, you are the Central Indiana Educational Service Center, Counselor Connect, but you don't service just Central Indiana. Is that correct?
Yeah. So Counselor Connect is statewide. And really, when we, in the very beginning stages of putting this together, this community of practice, we did originally think it would be just Central Indiana, but due really to the timing of the launch of this, when the pandemic first started and everybody went virtual, it was an easy, okay, we're gonna offer everything to everybody who wants to participate, statewide or beyond. And we made everything virtual at that point. So yes, everything we offer through Counselor Connect is available for anybody who wants to join statewide.
That's excellent. So COVID made us feel isolated, but there are some good things that came out of it. We've networked a little bit differently than we have before.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. I mean, I really appreciate you being here with us. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we go?
I just, we were talking earlier about just the incredible work that schools and counselors are doing, especially in these last couple of years. I just applaud them out there, doing the great work, but also to get connected to some of the amazing organizations that are out there. There are so many organizations at the state level, at the county level, at the community level that can help schools, provide services to their students and families, so that they don't feel like they're doing it alone. So just to get connected and learn about, the organizations that are out there, so that they feel supported in any way that they can.
That's right. So the community of counselors, we're very important to network together.
Absolutely. Yes. Highly encourage that.
Good. Okay. Well, thank you again for joining us. And thank you to our viewers for watching this monthly CCI video update.
Thanks, Amy.